So I actually never did cancel my pre-order of Mass Effect Legendary Collection. Um, so what? It came out on the 14th. I tore through Mass Effect 1. Um, Came out on the 14th. I may have started the game the next day, and I finished it I think Sunday night or maybe Monday night, and went right into Mass Effect 2. Now, Mass Effect 1 is my favorite of the three. I love it. I didn't have any problems with anything that was done with the remaster in 1 at all. I appreciated the quality of life improvements. The only ones I really um, were aware of is, improved graphics and the way that you could control the squad mates separately, have to go in separate directions, stuff like that. I don't think I remember any much else to it. Yeah, because I didn't waste my time or bother with the new and improved, in quotes, the iconic version of Femshep, because I think she looks terrible. Her face looks weird. She looks like a plastic doll or something. Like she could be in a horror movie. I don't understand why that's supposedly the iconic look. It's terrible. I didn't like the version from the original game, um, Mass Effect 3, how she looked then either. But it's the remaster makes it look even worse. It's like I said, she looks like a doll or a weird creature. She should be in Resident Evil Village, which I decided not to play yet, so I can get right into Mass Effect, which is more important to me. But yeah, I loved it. I did mostly everything. There's a couple of like touring and insignias and some war memorial crap that I didn't get, but I decided I can go back when I decide to platinum it to get that shit. But but yeah, so I was loving it, and I was like, this is really great, and it's I didn't have a problem with the um, gameplay. I think maybe in the beginning it was a little bit more clunkier than usual, but I've played the original three several times. I can't remember the last time I played it, though. I think it was around 2013, 2014 was the last time. And, the action and the movement and the gameplay did improve, but I felt like both of the sequels are much more dumbed down, even though they're good looking games and, better graphics, whatever. But anyway, so yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed Mass Effect 1, and I remember the first time I played Mass Effect 2, I live tweeted how irritated I was about a lot of changes from 2, from 1 to 2. So even though it looked, splashier and flashier 2, um, I was really annoyed with stuff like you can't, you had to go back into the Normandy just to fucking take your helmet off. There was no variety of armor. You could change the colors and the tints. I don't know how to make the twints, the tints, and maybe you could add different like modified parts or something to the armor, but it wasn't cool like the first game where you could just get totally different armor from different manufacturers. So you could, you know, mess around with all different types of styles. So I didn't like that about the second game. I hated the Citadel because it felt like you were just running through a big shopping mall. Not even a big shopping mall. You just felt like you was running through a shopping mall. It didn't feel like the Citadel anymore. You was always inside these little cramped spaces. Um, they did some cool stuff with like the advertisements. Although was that in the first version? Because I don't think I really remember that. But whatever, I don't care. Um, there were things about the second game that I didn't like as much. But over playing it again, over some replays, I appreciated it much more, and I love that game. Three, I love three. Just I hate the ending. Three is fun to play, and really the worst things about it is how they force Anderson out of the council role. If you choose Anderson in the first game to be on the council, um, this asshole in three is just running around in the alliance like he was never. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then Udina, that prick, Udina is all of a sudden the on the council. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And that was the thing about the third game, the stupid plot contrivances, which leads to a really shitty ending. But we won't get into all of that. I just really wanted to complain about um, two again, even though I'm much more prepared for the dumbed down experience from the first game. You know, it's more watered down. It's not really an RPG. You don't have a lot of the skills and powers and that kind of thing. Well, you have a lot of the powers, but you don't have a lot of skills like the decryption and electronics and all that stuff. You don't have the same variety of armor. You don't have the same variety of weapons. It is more streamlined. So, but anyway, like I said, I really enjoyed it. I just felt like, it's less classical music and more rock and roll, um, which was like I was just prepared for. I was like, okay, I'm ready to play it. I was having fun. But the thing that really got me, pissed me off, was when it got to the New Normandy and you see Kelly Chambers. Was it Yeoman Chambers? And you see Kelly Chambers, and she looks fucking busted. Now, she looked like that in the third game, but since she wasn't a member of the crew, I didn't like it, but I didn't care because I didn't have to see her and I didn't flirt with her. And she wasn't as important to the story. And she's not important to the second game that much, except that you spend a lot of time with her because she's pretty much right next to you when you go to the computer or you go to the galaxy map. And for me, since Liara isn't in the main game of Mass Effect 2, she's the one that I flirted with. Like I said, I played as Femshep. So, Femshep, the way I played it, I flirted with Kelly Chambers, and then at the end of the game or whatever, she does a little dance for you. That's their kind of like scene. They don't have like a romance scene as far as I remember. I think that you have dinner with her, but I mean, I what I did was because my femship is a slut. she's she's down for whatever, male or female. Because in the first game, she was flirting with Caden and Liara all the way up to the point where Caden's stupid ass tries to make you choose, or he doesn't try, he makes you choose. Commander, I want you to decide between me and Liara. And I go, well, what, hey, we can all do this. It all ain't nothing but a thing. I mean, Liara is an alien. She probably doesn't care about, a menage. Ain't nothing wrong with a menage. And he's like, no, I can't do it. So you turn down two hot pieces of ass for what? For what? So I made sure that I didn't save him on Vermeer because you can't turn down, good booty like that, alien or otherwise. So I was like, sorry, kid, you gotta go, bruh. It's not gonna work out for you. Even though Ashley is a racist. Ashley's my ace boom coon. I usually take her on a lot of my missions because, the firepower and stuff. Although, the more I played Mass Effect 1 in particular, the more I realized you don't really need all that firepower. You can have, it's better to have different types of squad mates for situations. You don't just need two people with heavy, tank guns or whatever. Anyway, so Chambers, it's a little thing, such a little thing. Um, but she just looks terrible now. Like, and it's so weird that who the people who made the decision in Bioware when they were remastering this, you look at Kelly Chambers in the original second game, and you look at how they messed her up in the third game. Like I don't see how you could look at the pictures side by side and go, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this seamless across all the games. So we're gonna use the ugliest version of this character and slap her in there. Now, this goes to my whole thing about developers being psychopaths, sociopaths, or whatever. They could actually look at this character with the stupid beehive, weird jaw. Like she totally doesn't look like Kelly. Well, she looks kind of like Kelly, but she looks depressed. She looks like she's struggling to overcome a meth addiction. She looks depressed. Like she doesn't fit the voice, the sort of bubbly personality that Kelly has. You're looking at this depressed goth chick who's like supposedly sounding like, oh, I could just fall in your arms, Commander Shepard, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, you're just going to fall because you're OD'd on something. It's not like you're a swooning romantic. This is ridiculous. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to romance her or flirt with her or whatever. She's just going to be like Fleabag in the second season where she just gave up sex. It was like, I'm trying to be good. I'm giving up sex. I'm not going to be a hoe anymore. But I don't even have anybody to fixate on. See the dog starting up again. Oh, I had started this earlier, and for whatever reason, and the dogs will be quiet all day. When they hear me going off about something, I don't know if they hear me at all, but when I start recording, they choose then to start yipping and yapping and carrying on, and they do it nonstop after that. Um, so I really wanted to go, like I said, talk about just, I don't shouldn't talk too much about this. Not that big of a deal. I've only been playing a few hours in Mass Effect 2. I just recently met up again with Kelly Chambers, and I was depressed at the fact that they made the choice to go with the worst version of the character and put that in a remake. You're supposed to be a remaster. You're supposed to be making things look better. They actually made it look worse. And this isn't something that you would think they would be aware of, that in the fandom, people hated uh, Kelly's look in the third game and always said she looked busted in the third game. And why would they do that to her? And this is another example of um, ginger erasure. Now, that's something that I haven't gotten a chance to do a video about because of my loud ass neighbors and loud dogs. I hate trying to record after work or at any time because they make so much noise, and I don't know enough to remove all that stupid background noise. So I just sort of give up, and I don't want them yapping when I'm trying to think because I don't write a script. I just sort of go off the cuff, which, I could try to be more focused, but I just want to say a few things and then go on about my business. Like, I want to go ahead and start playing again, even though, like I said, I'm depressed slightly. It's not really a big deal, but I am irritated that they looked at the two versions that they had and they went with the worst one. And I feel like the only reason why they went with that, um, well, I could be a conspiracy theorist. I can't talk. I could be somebody who believes that they did it to piss people off. Like, why would anybody want to do that? Like, this isn't a reason to do that. But I'm like, I can't see why you would choose clearly the worst one. It's like almost they said, well, fuck you. Don't sexualize these women. If you don't think she's cute, that's your problem. I'm going to give you this one then. Cry about it. I feel like that could be a reason, but probably the simplest reason is the newest game, 3, had this model. So they're retroactively using the most recent model as the one across all games. And I just feel like that's just such a lame, thoughtless, careless way to go about something. Because, I wish they'd patch it. Because they know people don't like it. So I don't understand why they chose it. And like I said, it completely ruins the experience for me. I've played Mass Effect 2 like at least 3 times before this. And each time I would flirt with Kelly because there was nobody else. Now, to be fair, I also flirted with Jacob and um, now I can't remember Fish Dude's name. Oh God, here they see my neighbors. I'm just gonna keep going. I don't care if they're yelling for get out or whatever. Um, but I've all the ones that I could flirt with, I would flirt with until there was a point where they said, "Oh, we can just fuck," and then I would be like, "Nah, that's okay. I'm a friend zone you." And then I would hook up with Kelly and then have her dance for me or whatever. So now I'm not gonna do that. I think it would be like horrifying to see her do that dance in that little outfit with that depressing look, that's horrible beehive hairstyle she has, and the weird angular features she has, like that depressed look on her face. I don't want to see some depressed stripper. That's fucking upsetting and disturbing. So, um, I'm gonna shut up now because I think my neighbors are gonna go off more. The dog shut up for a little bit, but really, I just want to talk a little bit about my experiences so far with Mass Effect. But I want to complain a little bit about the ginger erasure. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Okay, so with the ginger erasure, that was another video idea I had that I haven't got a chance to do. But a lot of people are doing it now. Anybody who's into fandom, superhero fandom, sci-fi fandom, or whatever, and they see all this race swapping that's going on. Look, I'm black, too strong. I'm black. But you see a lot of black people, male and female, on YouTube and in Twitter complaining about this excessive blackwashing, and particularly it's happening a lot for a lot of redheads. Any character that's a white redhead is turned instantly black. Jimmy Olsen, MJ, Starfire. There's a ton of them. So, oh, Iris West when she's not a brunette. Um, so once again, they did it to Kelly. So Kelly is a redhead in the second game, the original. Now she's a brunette with this hideous, horrible hairstyle. Ugh, but so just I'm just gonna play the game and try not to get depressed because these things are not really a big deal. Even the scene where they cut out or they edited Miranda's magnificent ass when she's talking to Shepard about her sister. Now, Leanna Rupert from Game Informer was talking about how, oh, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna just put a black hole where her ass is. Don't worry about it, guys. It's not gonna be censorship. All they're gonna do is pull the camera back so it won't be so focused on her ass because that scene is a serious scene. She's talking about her sister. She's worried about her sister, and yeah, she is worried about her sister. But it's not like she's saying my sister is being sexually trafficked, a sex traffic victim, and so I'm so upset and devastated. And starts crying. She almost looks like she's saying, "Hey, look, I need your help, and you want this ass." So, but they didn't pull the camera back, like Leanna Rupert said. They actually just lifted the camera up to her back. So now you just see her back instead of her rump. I don't necessarily mind that they changed that, but since it's not a big deal either way, that's when it gets annoying. When you're used to a scene a certain way, when you are familiar with it, you don't want them messing with it because it just feels like you're being. I said this in my moral panic video. I feel like you're being toyed with, like you're a child, like you're not old enough to handle this. This is just too much for you. It's like those. I think it was Philip DeFranco. Philip DeFranco was talking about the other day, some high school that was digitally altering um, yearbook photos of girls that had low cleavage. They would cover that up and make a big deal out of it. And it's like, why are you making a big deal out of it? It's not a big deal. Like I don't understand this idea that it's because the guy sees an attractive woman like he's supposed to lose all senses. Now I know that the guys have to act like pieces of shit, but we're just talking about like pictures and video game characters and comic book characters. It's not a big deal. So when you make these little changes that throw everything off, you're like, why did you make this change? There was no need to make the change. Like, why are you interfering? So that's what's irritating me about Kelly Chambers. Although I understand that they did it to make the character look consistent between both games. But I don't understand why they wouldn't look at the two and say, well, we're going to make her look like she did in two, because that's how she originally looked. And, why go by just, oh, well, this is the newest model, so we'll just make her look like that. It has no impact on anything. Like, they don't understand how that impacts what fans and players have been thinking about this character, especially since you spend more time with her in the first time, well, the previous game. I'm going to say the first game you see her in. So enough ranting from me. I just wanted to talk a little bit, like I said, about this poor ginger who was abused and wrecked and looked down bad now because of dumb, poor, inaesthetic choices. But take care. I hope to do some more thoughtful videos coming up. Talk to you all later.